Hey folks, this is my long-term review of the SMLRO-V3 e-bike. It's a 2000 watt e-bike, 1000 watt front and rear motors, so it's all-wheel drive. I've had it for about 6 months and put about 1,500 miles on it. And I'll show you some of the modifications that I've made to make it fit my riding style a little bit better. But it's been a great bike for me. So this is the V3. I have mine in all black. I just preferred that. So some of the modifications that I've made is, you can see I put on a suspension seat post. Softens up the roads here a little bit. The roads here are not really that great, and this really helps out. Another modification I made was the rear freewheel. From the factory, it came with this, which is a 28 by 14. So the largest sprocket is 28 teeth, the smallest is 14 teeth. I replaced that with a Drift Maniac with 34 as the largest and 11 as the smallest. So it gives me a higher top gear for when I have it in like pedal assist 5. I don't have as much ghost pedaling. I can always help it out. And it also gives me a lower low gear to conquer some of the hills here, because we have some really steep hills. My average rides are about 18 miles. With almost 2,000 feet of elevation gain, so I do some serious climbing on this thing. I also had to change out this rear derailleur. I went with a Shimano Acera. The factory one would not adequately shift with a cog larger than 28. So when I went up to the 34, I had to get that. Another modification I made was the front rotor. From the factory, it came with 160 millimeter rotors. I have switched that out to a 203 mil. As you can see, it's much larger. It dissipates heat a lot better. I only did it on the front because that's where most of my braking power is. In order to do that, it was simply unbolting the rotor, putting the new rotor on, and then putting a spacer in between the caliper and the factory mount. Really easy job, but really improved my braking and helped my pads last a lot longer because they don't heat up near as bad. Another modification I made was the grips. The factory grips were the just standard rotor grips. I've replaced those with ones that have locking collars at both ends so that they don't rotate on me when I run my big descents here. It was just kind of annoying. They would rotate a little bit. I also put these little rubber silicone covers on the brake levers. They're just really comfortable. It gives a little better feel, and if my hands get wet, they have a tendency not to slip off. I a lot of times only use my fingertips on the brakes. This is another one of my modifications. Originally, to hold the brake pads in, there would have been an Allen screw right here that screwed into this back section, which was threaded. I over tightened it and got my kind of boogered up the head on that bolt one day, so I just drilled out the threads and used a cotter pin, which comes with brake pads when you buy them. Doesn't really give me anything. It's a little quicker to change the brake pads, but it was more out of a necessity than really a requirement. I also installed this flashing brake light. The neat thing about this is there is actually a accelerometer in it. So if I'm on the road and hit my brakes, it goes from flashing to solid. So it comes on just like a regular brake light would, except it's not actually connected to my brake handles or anything. It's all done through that accelerometer. And as you can see, I'm in some need of some new tires. With 1,500 miles on these are wore pretty bad. I think I'm going to go with a set of road tires for my next one, just because I do so much road miles on it. So that's the 1,500 mile, 6-month review of my SMLRO-V3. It's been a great purchase for me. No regrets at all. Wonderful bike. I have a Nexus Rider Thunderstrike on the way. It's a 20-inch dual motor by the same company. It's sort of their higher end bikes, are their Nexus Rider series. Looking forward to getting that. They're going to have to... They shipped it from California to Florida. Florida then has to put it on a boat. The boat then has to get to the Virgin Islands, clear customs, and then I'll have it. So I'm hoping in maybe 2 weeks or so I'll be able to put a video out on that. Real excited about it. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to put them down in the comments. I'll have a link in the description as well if you'd like to purchase one or want some more information on them. Thanks a lot.